like to give you an introduction to something called functional requirements. A functional requirement is exactly what it sounds like. It's a functional requirement. It's a requirement of somebody in terms of what they need to do functionally. Let me give you an example. A salesperson, a job description might have a bullet item called cold calling. A functional requirement would be to make outbound calls with absolute passion, conviction, and energy 60 to 75 times a day with 5 to 6 appointments attained. That's a functional description. It describes the output or the performance. All too often, we lead with definitions that are nebulous and not really understood or interpreted arbitrarily. Let me give you an example. I was at 3 client sites and I asked all 3 client sites, the client sites didn't know each other, what their definition of cold calling was. Now, this lesson is not about cold calling. It's about functionally understanding the expectations. 70 to 75% of all 3 companies had employees that did not define cold calling as required or expected by management. So their understanding of the output of performance was at odds with the expectations. So functional requirements is where you write down what you functionally require. And the way you can do that is through the tiers of learning. So cold calling could be knowledge. Here's how to make a cold call. Skill. Here's how you need to look or how you need to sound making a cold call. Behavioral. This is the confidence level, what you need to demonstrate or look like when making that cold call. So when you go through your functional requirements, think about what you're functionally requiring of your employees. So let's take a customer service rep, and let's say they need to know the 4-step process of diffusing an angry customer. And they need to do it skillfully and with a great energy to turn that angry customer into a loyal customer using great questions and absolute phenomenal active listening. That's a sample of what a functional requirement could be. And what that does is it gives you expectations as a manager to hold them accountable to something, but it also gives them a framework, being the employee, of what they need to rise to or adhere to. So when you go through the functional requirements, think about knowledge. What do they need to know? Skill. What do they need to be able to do? Behaviorally. How do they need to be able to do it from a level of confidence and conviction? And if you give that a description, a functional description, you're going to start outperforming the marketplace in terms of its competition. Good luck.